Welcome, gentlemen of character and purpose. Let's cut to the chase. What we're about to discuss could reshape the way you approach relationships. No one else is unpacking these ideas quite like this, so lean in and stay with me. I'm about to share 7 psychological principles that are not only deeply impactful, but also highly effective. However, there's one condition before we begin. Promise me in the comments below that you'll use these insights responsibly and with integrity. These are not tools for manipulation or harm. They are meant to nurture genuine, lasting connections. When applied with sincerity, these strategies will reveal how naturally and profoundly women can connect with you. You might even surprise yourself with the depth of attachment that forms. But again, let's agree, this is about respect and authenticity. Now, buckle up, because these tips won't just enhance your relationships, they'll transform them. And here's the key. The final 2 principles are absolute game changers, and most people haven't even heard of them. Stick around, and let's dive into something truly meaningful. Number 1. The power of possibility. How commitment shapes connection. In the dynamic between men and women, one of the most captivating forces isn't necessarily the man himself, but the possibility of what he could represent to her. This idea, the thought that he might commit one day, that he's within reach, but not easily won, creates a magnetic pull that many find irresistible. Let's break this down. A common mistake men make is either rushing to commit, thinking it will secure her attention, or swinging to the other extreme, being completely unavailable in the hope that the mystery alone will make them irresistible. Neither of these extremes creates the lasting emotional connection that keeps a woman engaged. Women aren't drawn to extremes, they're drawn to a balanced space, a dance between uncertainty and hope, where the what-if factor flourishes. So, what exactly is the what-if factor? It's that thrilling uncertainty that prompts her to wonder, is he going to commit to me? Am I the one for him? Is this moving towards something real? This state of wondering doesn't mean playing games or being deceptive. Rather, it's about embracing a mindset of being thoughtful and intentional. Imagine this. Instead of immediately declaring your intentions or revealing everything about yourself, you allow her to get to know you over time. You share glimpses of your values, your principles, and your vision for life. This approach creates intrigue. She starts to reflect. Do I align with his values? Am I the type of person who fits into his life? This isn't about manipulation. It's about authenticity. When a man genuinely embodies his values and standards, he naturally creates a dynamic where she feels invested in earning his trust and affection. But here's an essential truth. You must genuinely mean it. High-value individuals, both men and women, don't fake selectiveness. They live it. Ask yourself, what am I truly looking for in a partner? Is she kind, supportive, and aligned with my vision for the future? When you approach relationships with clarity and purpose, you're not creating uncertainty by withholding affection, but by being intentional about where you invest your energy and time. So how does this look in practice? Let's say you're getting to know someone, and the question of where the relationship is heading comes up. Instead of rushing to define everything or being evasive, you could say, I really value where we are right now, and I'm enjoying getting to know you better. This response is sincere, respectful, and leaves room for growth without pressure. On the other hand, Avoid falling into the trap of being distant or cold under the guise of creating intrigue. The goal isn't to play hard to get, but to remain present and engaged, while subtly conveying that you're not in a hurry to settle down prematurely. This balance ensures that your interactions remain meaningful, while allowing the relationship to evolve naturally. When a woman feels that she has to earn your commitment, it often holds more value for her. More importantly, this approach also protects you. Too many people commit hastily, only to later realize their partner doesn't align with their deeper values. By taking your time and allowing the other person's true character to reveal itself, you maintain a sense of agency over the relationship dynamic and ensure you're building something authentic and sustainable. Remember, the key isn't in avoiding commitment, but in embracing the possibility of commitment. When you're confident, selective, and intentional, you create a connection that's both deeply meaningful and irresistibly engaging. She'll find herself thinking about you, wondering about you, and most importantly, actively investing in the relationship. That's the power of mastering the what-if factor, a balance of mystery, clarity, and purpose that elevates relationships to something truly extraordinary. Number 2, the art of making your attention irresistible. Attention is one of the most profound ways to build a connection, but here's the secret. Not all attention is equal. The true power lies in making your attention feel rare, valuable, and something she looks forward to, like a once-in-a-lifetime experience she can't get enough of. Let's dive into how this works. Imagine your attention as a luxury item, like a limited edition release from a top brand. Think about how Louis Vuitton or Rolex builds their allure, not just through quality, but through exclusivity. Scarcity creates desire. If your attention is always available, always immediate, it becomes ordinary. But if you make it something special, something that shines when shared but isn't handed out freely, it becomes unforgettable. When she's with you, make her feel like the center of your universe. Be fully present. Listen attentively to her stories. Notice her quirks and appreciate the way she expresses herself. Create moments filled with laughter, chemistry, and genuine connection. Flirt with her, lead the date with confidence, and let her feel cherished and feminine in your presence. But here's the critical part. Once the moment ends, step back. Don't hover. Don't overwhelm her with messages, and don't lose yourself in constant pursuit. This isn't about playing games or ghosting. It's about showing that your time and attention are meaningful because you have a life filled with purpose, goals, passions, and relationships that matter deeply to you. By living a balanced, fulfilling life, you naturally communicate that your attention is a privilege, not an expectation. Let's consider a simple example. Imagine you've taken her on a fantastic date. You've been attentive, charming, and fun. As the evening ends, instead of immediately texting her a long message about how much you enjoyed it, or planning the next meeting on the spot, leave her with something heartfelt yet brief, like, "I had a great time tonight. Let's talk soon." Then go about your life. Why does this work? Because in the space you create, she has time to reflect on the experience, the joy, the connection, the way you made her feel. That space allows the memory to linger, and it builds anticipation for the next time you'll be together. It's not about withholding, it's about letting the moments you share speak for themselves. One of the most common mistakes men make is overloading her with attention. They think constant texting, calling or planning shows care, but in reality, it dilutes the emotional impact of their presence. Think of it like your favorite song. If you play it on repeat non-stop, it loses its magic. But if you hear it occasionally, it stays exciting and fresh. Another essential piece of this dynamic is having a rich, well-rounded life. Women are naturally drawn to men with passion and purpose, someone who is driven by meaningful goals. When she sees that you're committed to your career, your hobbies, or spending quality time with loved ones, your attention becomes even more valuable. It's no longer something she takes for granted. It's something she treasures. This doesn't mean neglecting or ignoring her. On the contrary, when you're with her, treat her exceptionally well. Show her kindness, respect, and admiration. But when you're not together, focus on your personal growth, becoming the best version of yourself. This balance between presence and absence is what makes your attention feel like a gift rather than an expectation. The result: she starts to look forward to every moment you share. She cherishes the time you give her because it's tied to positive emotions, laughter, safety, joy, and connection. Most importantly, she begins to value your attention on a deeper, more emotional level. That's the power of making your attention irresistible. By being intentional, by creating moments that matter, and by living a life filled with purpose, you transform your attention into something she craves. Not because it's scarce, but because it's meaningful. And that, in turn, builds a connection that's unforgettable. Number 3, the power of silence in relationships. Silence. It's something we often overlook, yet it can be one of the most profound tools in building attraction and connection between men and women. In relationships, silence isn't just about the absence of words. It's about creating space, fostering intrigue, and demonstrating confidence. Let's explore how silence, when used wisely, can transform the way you connect with others. Many people make the mistake of thinking that constant talking, texting, or reassurance is the key to someone's heart. It's an easy trap to fall into. We want to stay connected, to show we care. But here's the truth. Over-communication can often have the opposite effect. It can make us seem too available, too eager, and unfortunately, less intriguing. Attraction often thrives on a sense of mystery and balance, and silence plays a crucial role in achieving that. Think about it. Silence creates space for curiosity. When you're comfortable with silence, you give the other person room to think, to wonder, and to engage with their own feelings. A woman might find herself asking, "What's he thinking? Is he really interested?" This kind of intrigue draws people in. It sparks their imagination and makes them more invested in the connection. Let's put this into practice. Imagine you're on a date. Most people feel the need to fill every moment with chatter, fearing that silence will create awkwardness. But a confident person knows better. After she shares something meaningful or personal, resist the urge to jump in right away. Instead, pause. Make eye contact, nod gently, and let her words settle. This moment of quiet isn't just about hearing her, it's about truly listening. It shows that you're present, thoughtful, and genuinely interested. This principle also applies to texting or messaging. If you're always the first to initiate conversations, or if you respond the moment a message arrives, it can give the impression that you're too available. On the other hand, taking your time to reply, not to play games, but because you're genuinely busy, adds a sense of value to your presence. It's a subtle reminder that your time and attention are meaningful, not something to be taken for granted. Silence also enhances the impact of your words. When you speak less, but with intention, what you say carries more weight. For example, instead of a long explanation about how much you enjoyed a date, a simple, heartfelt, "I had a wonderful time tonight," can leave a deeper impression. The key is to communicate with purpose, making your words count. However, let's clarify something important. Using silence isn't about manipulation or creating distance. It's about being comfortable in your own skin and embracing the moment. Confidence isn't loud, it's steady and calm. High-value individuals, those who are secure in themselves, don't fear silence because they don't rely on constant external validation. Instead, they use silence as a tool to strengthen connections. There's also a fascinating psychological element to silence. When you're quiet, people tend to fill in the blanks with their own interpretations. They might see your calm demeanor as a sign of strength, stability, or even mystery. This perception can make you appear more composed and attractive without saying a word. That said, silence must be used wisely. If it's excessive or poorly timed, it can come across as disinterest or arrogance. The goal isn't to withdraw, but to create meaningful moments of connection, reflection, or intrigue. In the end, silence is like a well-tuned instrument. It can create harmony when used at the right time. So, the next time you feel the urge to fill every pause with words, remember this. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is let the silence speak for itself. Number 4. The power of small concessions in building emotional connection. When it comes to relationships, one of the most underrated yet impactful strategies is the art of small concessions. This isn't about manipulation or taking advantage. It's about fostering a connection where both individuals actively invest in the relationship. For men and women alike, these small acts of giving and receiving can create a dynamic that strengthens emotional ties, fostering a deeper sense of belonging and attachment. So, how does this work? Let's break it down. Human psychology shows that people tend to value things they've invested time, energy, or effort into. This principle applies not just to work or hobbies, but also to personal relationships. When someone makes an effort, no matter how small, they subconsciously feel more connected to the outcome. For women, this process of investing often nurtures a stronger emotional bond. Picture this. You're on your 3rd or 4th date, and you casually ask her for a small favor. It could be something as simple as saying, "Could you pick up some dessert on your way over?" Or, "Would you mind sharing that book you mentioned?" When she agrees and follows through, it may seem like a tiny gesture on the surface. However, beneath that simple act lies a subtle but powerful dynamic. She's willingly contributing to the relationship, and each contribution deepens her emotional investment. Why does this matter? Because the more someone invests in a relationship, the more they value it. She begins to think, "I've put my time and energy into this man. I want this connection to grow." This isn't about coercion. It's about creating opportunities for her to feel engaged and connected on a meaningful level. But small concessions don't just build attachment. They also help establish a healthy balance in the relationship. When you confidently and respectfully ask for her input or help, you naturally position yourself as someone who values collaboration and leadership. Women are often drawn to individuals who exhibit confidence and decisiveness. These qualities signal stability and trustworthiness, two traits that are crucial for a strong, lasting connection. Now, some might worry that asking for favors could come across as needy or overbearing. The secret lies in your approach. Requests should feel effortless and natural, not forced or demanding. For example, instead of saying, "I really need you to do this for me," try framing it as, "It'd be great if you could help with this. I'd appreciate it." This light-hearted tone ensures the interaction feels balanced and enjoyable. Equally important is your response after she contributes. Gratitude goes a long way. A simple, heartfelt, "Thank you, that means a lot to me," paired with genuine warmth, reinforces her effort and makes her feel appreciated. This feedback loop of asking, giving, and showing gratitude creates a positive dynamic where both of you feel valued and respected. It's worth noting that these small gestures aren't about creating a one-sided relationship. While you're encouraging her to invest, you should be equally invested. Plan thoughtful dates, show interest in her passions, and be there for her when she needs support. This mutual exchange of effort builds trust, respect, and a strong foundation for your relationship to grow. Here's an even deeper layer. Small concessions often align with natural instincts. Women, by nature, often enjoy nurturing and caring for the people they value. Acts like bringing you a cup of coffee, helping with a small task, or simply being present are fulfilling ways for her to express her care and affection. When you provide opportunities for these moments, you're not only strengthening your bond, but also allowing her to feel authentic and appreciated. Ultimately, the key to this approach is balance. It's not about demanding or manipulating, it's about fostering a dynamic where both partners contribute to and benefit from the relationship. These small acts may seem minor at first, but over time they accumulate into something much greater, a deep emotional connection that is built on trust, mutual respect, and shared effort. So, the next time you're tempted to do everything yourself or avoid asking for help, remember this: creating small concessions isn't about taking, it's about sharing. It's about giving her the chance to contribute to the relationship in meaningful. Number 5, crafting a story she truly believes in. When it comes to forming a deep and lasting bond with a woman, attraction alone isn't enough. What truly captivates her is the narrative you create together, a story where she feels valued, cherished, and uniquely connected to you. This isn't about spinning fantasies or weaving lies. It's about cultivating authenticity, highlighting your shared connection, and helping her see herself as an irreplaceable part of something meaningful. Why does this matter? Because women naturally seek connection, and part of that connection is feeling like they play a special role in your life. If she senses she's just another person in your world, easily replaceable or unremarkable, her emotional attachment will begin to fade. However, if you can demonstrate why she stands out and why your bond is unique, you'll foster a deeper, more meaningful relationship. So, how do you build this kind of narrative? It starts with genuinely seeing her for who she is. Pay attention to the little things, her quirks, her passions, and the way she interacts with the world. Instead of relying on generic compliments like, "You're so beautiful," take a step further and make it personal. For instance, you could say, "I love how you always notice the small details. It's something that sets you apart." This approach shows her that you value her beyond the surface, that you're paying attention to what makes her unique. The story you're crafting becomes even more compelling when you tie it to your shared experiences. After a wonderful date, instead of a casual, "I had fun," try saying, "I don't think I've ever laughed as much as I did tonight." There's something about you that just makes everything feel so easy. Statements like this create a narrative in her mind where she feels essential, as if she brings something irreplaceable into your life. Another way to strengthen this narrative is by revisiting moments that reflect your connection. Let's say you've had a meaningful conversation or shared an intimate moment. Later, you can reflect on it and frame it as part of the bond you share. For example, "I've been thinking about that conversation we had the other night. It's so rare to meet someone I can talk to so openly." By doing this, you're not only reinforcing the importance of those moments, but also planting the idea that your relationship is unique and worth nurturing. But words alone won't create the story. Your actions need to align with them. Consistency is key. Showing up for her through thoughtful gestures, remembering the little things she shares, or simply being there when she needs you, reinforces the authenticity of the connection. These actions demonstrate that the narrative you're building is not just talk. It's real and meaningful. Here's an essential point to remember. Women want to feel valued for more than just their physical appearance. Complimenting her looks is fine, but if that's all you focus on, she may start to question your intentions. Building a deeper connection means acknowledging her intellect, her dreams, and her emotions. For instance, after an intimate moment, instead of saying something generic like, "That was amazing," you might say, "I love how natural everything feels with you. It's rare to find this kind of connection." Such words validate the experience while reinforcing the uniqueness of your bond. Over time, these small gestures and meaningful conversations weave a narrative she'll replay in her mind, a story where she's deeply connected to you and where your relationship stands out as something extraordinary. It's important to emphasize that this process is not about manipulation or shallow flattery. The best stories are built on truth, and the more genuine you are, the stronger and more enduring the connection will be. Authenticity is the foundation of trust, and trust is the cornerstone of any lasting relationship. Ultimately, women don't just fall for men, they fall for the story those men create. Be the man who crafts a story worth believing in, a story where she feels valued, understood, and uniquely connected to you. When she believes in the narrative you're building together, her attachment to you will grow deeper and more profound with each passing moment. Ways, making her feel valued and invested, and as those little moments. Number 6. The art of making her feel truly unique. Every woman wants to feel special, to know she's seen as one of a kind by the man she cares for. If you can genuinely make her feel unique, you'll create a connection that's not easily broken. This isn't about showering her with hollow compliments or telling her what she wants to hear. Instead, it's about authentically recognizing the qualities that set her apart and showing her, through both words and actions, that you truly see her. Let's begin with a common mistake many men make: generic compliments. Telling her, "You're beautiful," or "You're amazing," is nice, but it's something she's probably heard countless times before. While these compliments might make her smile, they won't necessarily make her feel unique. To stand out, you need to go deeper. Pay attention to the little details that define who she is. The way her eyes light up when she talks about her passions, her distinctive perspective on life, or how she handles challenges with grace. Instead of saying something broad like, "You're funny," be specific. For example, "I love how you can make even the dullest situations entertaining. It's such a rare and refreshing quality." This kind of remark shows her that you've noticed something truly unique about her, and it strikes a chord that generic compliments never could. But words alone aren't enough. Actions are just as important when it comes to making her feel special. Let's say she casually mentions during a conversation that she loves a specific dessert. The next time you meet, surprise her with it. This small but thoughtful gesture demonstrates that you not only listen to her, but also act on what you learn. It's in these moments of attention and care that she feels genuinely valued. Another way to make her feel unique is by crafting experiences tailored to her. Avoid the trap of taking her to the same places or doing the same activities you might do with anyone else. Instead, personalize your time together based on her interests. If she loves nature, plan a day trip to a scenic spot. If she's passionate about music, surprise her with tickets to see her favorite artist. These tailored experiences show her that you're paying attention to her likes and dislikes, and that you're willing to put in the effort to create something meaningful. Listening is another critical piece of the puzzle. Most people listen just enough to respond, but truly making her feel special requires listening to understand. When she's talking about something that matters to her, resist the urge to interrupt or shift the focus back to yourself. Instead, ask thoughtful follow-up questions that show you're engaged. For example, if she shares a story about her childhood, you might ask, "How do you think that experience shaped who you are today?" This level of engagement tells her that her voice matters and that you're genuinely interested in her thoughts and feelings. It's also important to address a misconception. Making her feel unique doesn't mean putting her on a pedestal. You're not there to worship her, but to celebrate and appreciate the qualities that make her stand out. A balanced dynamic is key. She should feel valued without sensing that you've compromised your own strength or independence. Confidence and mutual respect are essential to maintaining a healthy connection. Consistency is another vital element. It's easy to make someone feel special in the early stages of a relationship, but if that effort fades over time, it can leave her feeling disillusioned. Women notice when the energy or attention shifts, and inconsistency can make her question your sincerity. By continually showing her that you value her uniqueness, not just in big gestures but in small, everyday ways, you build trust and deepen the emotional connection. In the end, making her feel unique isn't about grand declarations or elaborate displays. It's about the little, meaningful moments that prove she's more than just another person in your life. She's someone truly special to you. When you show her that she's seen, understood, and valued in ways she's never experienced before, you create a bond that's deeply fulfilling and hard to replicate. Number 7, challenging her in subtle ways. If you want to stand out and create a lasting impression, you need to be more than just agreeable or overly accommodating. A meaningful connection comes from keeping her intrigued and engaged, and one powerful way to achieve that is by subtly challenging her. This doesn't mean being combative or confrontational. It's about creating an environment where she feels excitement, curiosity, and respect. When done right, these subtle challenges can bring you closer together and make your relationship far more dynamic and rewarding. Here's why this approach works. Most men fall into two extremes. On one side, there are those who agree with everything she says, trying to avoid conflict at all costs. While this might seem considerate, it often comes across as unoriginal or unengaging. On the other side, some men feel the need to constantly argue or prove their superiority, which can quickly become exhausting. Neither extreme fosters genuine connection. The ideal middle ground is to stand firm in your values while encouraging her to engage with you on a deeper level. What does this look like in practice? Let's start with conversations. Imagine she shares a strong opinion like, "I think traveling is the best way to grow as a person." Instead of simply nodding in agreement or dismissing her idea, try posing a thought-provoking question. "That's an interesting perspective. Do you think it's possible to grow without stepping out of your comfort zone?" This kind of response shows that you're not only listening, but that you're interested in exploring ideas together. It sparks intellectual engagement, making the conversation more meaningful and memorable. Another way to subtly challenge her is through playful banter. Humor can be a fantastic tool for building rapport and keeping things light-hearted. For example, if she jokes about being bad at something, you might respond with, "Well, at least you're self-aware. That's the first step to improving." The key here is to maintain a tone of fun and positivity. Playful teasing creates a sense of excitement without ever crossing into mean-spirited territory. Challenges don't have to be limited to words. They can also involve actions. For instance, instead of always taking the lead on planning dates, you can encourage her to step up. Say something like, "You've got great taste. How about you plan our next adventure and show me what you've got?" This not only invites her to take initiative, but also signals that you trust her and value her input. It creates a sense of partnership and keeps the relationship dynamic. The key to these challenges is subtlety. They should never feel like tests or ultimatums. The goal isn't to put her on the spot or make her feel inadequate, but to inspire her to engage with you in new and exciting ways. Women are naturally drawn to men who encourage them to grow, and subtle challenges can awaken that motivation without creating pressure or tension. At the same time, balance is crucial. Overdoing it, whether through constant contradictions or excessive teasing, can make you come across as dismissive or controlling. Instead, aim for challenges that feel playful, supportive, and rooted in mutual respect. For example, if she has a different opinion, acknowledge her viewpoint before offering your own perspective. This approach ensures that the interaction feels like a healthy exchange rather than a debate. One of the greatest benefits of subtle challenges is that they help you maintain your frame. By standing firm in your values and encouraging her to meet you there, you establish yourself as a man with clear standards and expectations. This not only earns her respect, but also fosters a sense of mutual admiration. She'll feel like she's part of something meaningful, a relationship built on growth and authenticity. These moments of subtle challenge also deepen your connection. When you engage her intellectually, emotionally, and even playfully, you create opportunities for shared growth and discovery. She'll start to see you as someone who keeps her curious and engaged, someone who isn't entirely predictable. That sense of intrigue is profoundly attractive and keeps the relationship fresh. Ultimately, challenging her in a subtle way isn't about creating conflict or dominating the relationship. It's about encouraging her to think, grow, and invest in the connection. It shows her that you're not just another man seeking validation. You're someone who values depth, authenticity, and a partnership built on mutual respect. By fostering this kind of dynamic, you create a bond that's not only exciting, but also deeply meaningful and fulfilling for both of you. A relationship that's strong, fulfilling, and truly unbreakable. You've just explored 7 powerful strategies that can make a woman feel deeply connected to you. Strategies so impactful that they can transform not just how she feels about you, but also how you approach relationships. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered. From fostering a sense of commitment to subtly challenging her, each of these principles isn't about manipulation or games. Instead, they're tools for creating relationships grounded in authenticity and mutual respect. At the heart of all these strategies is a simple yet profound idea: being a high-value man. A high-value man isn't someone who chases, begs, or compromises his integrity for attention. Instead, he knows his worth, sets healthy boundaries, and builds relationships based on shared values. When you adopt this mindset, everything changes. Women aren't just drawn to you. They choose to stay because they see the unique value you bring into their lives. The key takeaway here isn't about memorizing scripts or playing games. It's about understanding what truly sustains a meaningful connection. Women want to feel seen, valued, and inspired in ways that ignite their passion and curiosity. By mastering these 7 strategies, you provide what many crave most: a relationship that feels both exciting and deeply fulfilling. But there's something even more important to remember. Your journey to becoming a high-value man starts with focusing on yourself. A man who is continuously growing, pursuing his goals, and living his best life is far more attractive than someone whose world revolves solely around a woman. When you're grounded in your purpose and actively striving to improve yourself, your energy becomes magnetic. Women notice this confidence and drive, and they naturally gravitate toward it. Let's also address the responsibility that comes with this knowledge. These strategies are powerful, so powerful, in fact, that they can shape how women see you, think about you, and feel about you. But with great power comes great responsibility. Use these methods to build relationships that are respectful, nurturing, and meaningful. Never use them to manipulate or harm others. Integrity is the foundation of genuine connection. And when you approach relationships with honesty and respect, the results will enrich not only your love life, but also your sense of self-worth and personal growth. Now, before you move forward, I have a challenge for you. Take one of these strategies and start applying it to your life today. Whether it's creating an air of mystery, making your attention more valuable, or simply practicing the art of active listening. Start small and build from there. Growth doesn't happen all at once. It's a step-by-step process, and the sooner you begin, the sooner you'll see the results. As you embark on this journey, remember to celebrate the progress you make. The path to becoming a high-value man isn't about achieving perfection. It's about committing to consistent improvement. Keep striving, keep learning, and keep evolving into the best version of yourself. If you found value in this conversation, here's how you can keep the momentum going. Take a moment to reflect on what resonated most with you. Which strategy are you most excited to try? How can you start applying it today? Growth begins with action, so take that first step. Lastly, remember this: your worth doesn't come from external validation. It comes from within. When you live with confidence, discipline, and authenticity, you naturally attract people who value and respect you. Your relationships will become a reflection of the high standards you set for yourself, and your life will align with the principles of growth and purpose. Until next time, stay confident, stay disciplined, and stay true to your worth. The journey to becoming a high-value man is ongoing, but every step you take brings you closer to the fulfilling relationships and meaningful life you deserve.